Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, 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 hey.
Alright, so, do you recall where we last left off?
I remember killing a couple beetles and then not even leaving the cave yet.
Yeah, basically, Rosina, you had met her, and, she basically almost forced you into being her informant. Then y'all went out there, killed them 2 beetles, and I guess y'all were just back on your way, about to leave the cave and go to inform Uther, I believe?
Inform Uther of what? That she's the one making everything big?
Yes, I believe that was the primary, and she had recommended a way for you guys to try and prevent the beetles and stuff from attacking the village.
And what was that again?
So she had said something about what she did to keep them away from her, aside from her magic, was she would basically she would conjure up things that looked like large humans to scare them away.
So they pretty much had to build some like scarecrows or some shit.
Yeah, that's what you and Jack Lauren came up with.
Okay. So I guess we'll head our way back to Uthor.
Alright, so Jekyll and Oromis begin leaving this damp, moist cave that reeks of mold and death. As you step outside, the sun is really blinding. It was so dark in that cave, and you almost didn't even realize it with your dark vision. You step outside, and to the right, you can see the forest. There's a good little fire going over there, and I believe that was from you shooting a firebolt into onto a beetle and catching him on fire, and he went running before he died. But yeah, so you and Jekyll just begin heading down the path that you came in from. You spend a good little while doing so, and eventually you do make your way back up to the village. And at this point, it's pretty late in the night, but you make your way in there, and Jekyll turns to you. So, are we going straight to Uthor?
I would imagine we're going straight to Uthor. Why wouldn't we?
I just wasn't sure because of the hour of the night. I don't know how he likes to spend his evenings.
Well, we about to go beat his door down.
Alright. So, you walk for another 15-20 minutes after your long journey back from the cave, and you're standing outside the plum house. You can hear a light chuckle in there. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And if you would like to, proceed to knock.
I'm about to beat on his door like, dum, dum, dum.
You hear the floor begin to creak as you can hear somebody rising up. He says, huh? And then he opens up the door real fast. Oh, it's you. How did it go?
So we found out what makes everything big. And with big vegetables comes big bugs. So you're going to have to make big scarecrows to scare away the big bugs.
Oh, this is a lot to take in suddenly. Why don't you two come in and we'll have a seat? And as he kind of turns, you immediately notice he has a new necklace he did not have on before. And it's a long metal chain, and at the base of it hangs a severed rabbit's paw.
Where'd you get the rabbit's paw?
He stops and turns. Oh, well, I always heard these were good luck, and after you two left, I saw this laying on the floor, so I just figured I might as well make use of it.
That's awesome, bro.
He turns and sits down at a table cluttered with old mugs and, all kind of random food accessories. And he points at the 2 seats for you and Jekyll to sit in. Jekyll comes and sits across from him. So, we have to make some sort of scarecrows, you say? Well, what is causing... Did you find out any more of why this village is even the way it is? Or what should we do?
Okay, so there's this really deep magic that runs in the water that runs in the ground. I have no way to really explain it to you, but you gotta believe me.
Well, with all the help you've been so far, I don't have any reason to doubt you. So, if you say we have to make scarecrows, we'll make scarecrows.
And these can't be no small scarecrows, they gotta be big scarecrows.
Oh, so we need a lot of hay then, huh?
Yeah, you don't need all the hay you can get, bud.
Well, I might have an idea, but I was wondering if you could assist me with one thing before the evening's over.
And what would that be?
Would you be able to go into the broccoli forest I have a friend there named Adder. He's our local blacksmith. He makes all of our tools and all these things. I know it's a little late, but we were having him assemble this massive piece of glass to put on the potato house. And he's finally finished it. The point is almost moot, but I think it would still probably serve us better to try and apply it up onto the wall. I'm sure we can make use of the house for other reasons.
So, could this guy help with building big scarecrows?
He potentially could. He doesn't usually come out of his forest, but I'm sure you could ask him about it. But I figured while you went out that way, I'd contact some of my friends around town and see what kind of ideas we could come up while you bring that back and put it on the house.
Alright, well, point me in the right direction on my map.
Alright. You just go down that road, and then you take this left, and then let me look at the actual map now. Okay, so you're just gonna go outside and go right, and then when you take a right, and then you take another right, and you can't miss the broccoli. It's huge. You'll be pretty much there.
Well, I guess we're going to go to Broccoli Forest.
Once again, I do appreciate you. You guys have been a big hand here. Who knows where we'd be today if you weren't here. Jeklar quickly stands up. Well, a good evening to you. We'll be back with your window.
Yes, good evening.
Alright. So Jeklar and Oromis make their way outside, and then they take a right, and then another right, and then they just keep going straight because they can't miss the broccoli forest. And as you reach your way in there, there's just a real peaceful sense. Like it looks almost as though a forest, but with a heavy broccoli smell. And there's no kinds of wildlife that you would expect to see in a standard forest. But you walk your way in here for about 15 minutes, and there's a light source that you can follow. You can tell that's where the camp or whatever the guy has would be. And as you and Jeklar go a little farther along, you see a clearing in the woods, and there's a big metal anvil on the ground, and beside that is like this cauldron full of this heated liquid. And so standing beside it is this man who seems to appear about 6'2" feet tall. He's got short blonde hair. He's holding a steel hammer in his left hand, one good for blacksmithing. He looks like quite a tough guy almost, and you can tell he wears real thick gloves and stuff to do his stuff, make sure he's not getting all cooked up or anything. And he turns and sees you. Why, hello.
Why, hello there. I'm here for a piece of glass.
Oh, so you two must be the two Uther was telling me about. He says you've been doing great things for our town, and we definitely appreciate that, It's a crazy world, and it only gets crazier.
You should see what's all out in that forest, man.
He shakes his head. I can only imagine. He quickly takes a piece of metal and pulls it from the cauldron, or he pulls it off the anvil and puts it into the cauldron of liquid. And then he turns. So I'll walk you back here with me. This glass is pretty big, so it is probably going to take both of y'all carrying it in one end. But I think you guys will be able to manage it. And he walks about 10-20 feet back into the little wood line. And if you're following behind him, you can quickly see this big reflective piece of glass. I'd say it probably stretches 20 feet wide, and it's at least 7 feet tall, basically. He lightly taps on it with his hammer. Yeah, I'd say this is going to solve the problem. Uther already went ahead and he put these small indentions into the house, so you can basically just lift it up and slide it into the pan, and then when you push up towards the second floor level, this will immediately click into place, and we'll go back later and seal it all around. And it's gonna be like a nice sunroom, I'd say.
This is about to be a long walk carrying this thing.
Yeah, it's a big piece, but luckily you can, normally it's about a 15-minute walk, so hopefully, you guys just be careful and you'll be done before you know it. Jeklar kind of looks at his arms, and he He's just thinking about how heavy this thing's about to be. I wish I had ate a few more beets today. I'm about out of our supply.
Eat a piece of your banana suit.
He looks down and pulls one off. I do believe this is good protein. And he quickly begins eating it. And once a day, when you eat a banana or a berry from your suit, you actually do gain 1d4 health back.
Oh. In that case, I'm about to pop me a blackberry.
Alright, so Jeklar gained 1.
I don't gain anything. I'm just eating it for the hell of it.
Ah, well, that's cool too.
But I rolled a 4. Hell yeah.
Right on. So you appear to have been at full health anyway, and so was Jeklar. So we just ate for pleasure is all. And protein.
Potassium.
So Jeklar finishes off his banana and then kinda he waits till Adder's looking over at the pane of glass, and he quickly puts the banana peel in the cauldron, and then he looks around like it never happened. Adder, he says, well, if you guys want to go ahead and grab one side, I'll at least walk it to the edge of the forest with you, and that way you're not completely on your own.
Well, thank you, kind sir.
But he walks over and he grabs one side and he looks over at you. So did you guys figure out what was the issue here? Why are these beetles attacking us, or did you at least kill them?
Well, there's too many to kill, and the reason they're attacking the village is not really to harm you, but to eat your houses. With big vegetables comes big bugs. With big bugs, we need big scarecrows.
He kind of lifts up on his end and he nods. Scarecrows, you say?
Yeah, it scares them.
Well, to make scarecrows, it sounds like you're gonna need hay. I don't have any hay, but I have something that'll help you transport some hay.
And what would that be?
He doesn't say anything right away. He just kind of looks at the glass thing he's trying to lift up and looks over at you two. And Jeklar kind of takes the hint and quickly runs over and starts lifting on one side. And he looks back at you. Well,
play supervisor.
he starts lifting up real. Hold on, let me make a roll for him. He starts lifting up, and one end kind of slides out his hand, and he kind of has a huge panic look on his face. And Jeklar's like, "No!" And then he says, "Well, I got it. Do you think you could lend us a hand? You just grab that other corner. I'll handle this whole side myself."
Alright, I'll help.
Alright, and as you lift up your side and y'all kind of do like a little one-legged slide as you're working your way to the edge of force. I make a lot of tools, you know. I pretty much make every tool that we use in this village. So I actually am right now in the middle of making a nice pitchfork, and I think you could probably use it for this.
Alright, I'll take it.
Alright, as soon as we walk this couple more feet, I'll run back and grab it for you. I don't know, you might just could stick it on your back for now so you can use your hands.
Alright.
So y'all reach over to the end of this forest line, and he kind of sits his corner on the ground against a broccoli stalk. Alright, I'll be right back. And he goes running, and he's back within a good 30 seconds, wielding this nice pitchfork. It's real shiny, you know, got like a nice chrome hilt on it. But otherwise, for the majority of it, it just looks like a pitchfork, to be honest. But he takes appreciation into his craftsmanship, so to him, it's a beauty. And he runs back over. Oh, all right, I'll just go ahead and slide this into your little satchel thing for you. That way, you don't have to try and free up your hands too much, and I'll let you guys get on your way. Hope this makes good use for you, because I worked pretty hard on it today.
Alright, well, we'll see you another time. Let's go ahead and get this glass back to Uthor.
Nice to meet you, Adder. And he quickly, Jeklar quickly lifts up his side and begins trying to walk forward with you. Give me a strength check.
Oh god, the worst ones for me. Alright, 15.
Alright, and you don't have a modifier, correct?
No modifier for strength.
Alright, well, you pretty much have no issue carrying your side the majority of the way. Jeklar, on the other hand, he continuously feels it like it's about to slip out his hand, and he keeps having to stop and say, hold on, let me adjust my fingers. And it takes you a little bit longer than it should have. But you do make your way there, and you're now standing in front of the potato house. And you can definitely see the divots that Adder was talking about. It's like little carvings, and when you put it in there, you basically need to stand it up horizontally like a window frame would be, and then push against it to lift it into place. And if you're about to do that now, that will require another strength check from both of us.
Alright, Jacklar, let's try to put this thing in the slot.
Heave. Jacklar rolls a 13 with his modifier. What'd you get?
That's strange, because I rolled a 13.
Hell yeah. Nice. Alright, so you both, there's a little bit of effort to it, but you guys relatively get this bitch up on that window, and it slides right into place. You know, you can feel some tension in your shoulders after, but it's looking pretty good. You have just repaired this place and hooked it up with a sunroom. Well, this looks quite nice, Oromis. I don't know what they're going to do with this now, though.
I don't know either. They should make it like our guest house or something. I think we earned it.
That would be nice. Perhaps we could sway Uther into doing so for us. Would you like to go ahead and head back over there now?
We can head over there, but as soon as we're done here, I don't plan to ever come back to this village.
Oh, well, why is that?
Because if I come back, I'm gonna kill the bitch that's holding this forest together.
He kind of shakes his head. Well, I do understand your perspective there. Speaking of that, do you feel like we should be on the lookout for anything? Like, she clearly wants an informant for some reason.
What are we supposed to inform her of, though?
She just said anything magical or suspicious of that nature. She was not very direct at all with us about it.
Well,
perhaps we just keep our eye out.
Yes.
And as he sees you walk up, I have an idea. I think I know what we can do.
What's your idea?
I have spoken with Jury, and when he was younger, he used to take care of the steeds. There's a stable house not too far from our village. It is likely long abandoned by now, but they used to feed all kinds of horses, and the place is literally covered in hay. And there's even, to my recollection, they used to have a trailer or a carriage that they would transport the hay around on. So perhaps you guys could, you maybe rest up tonight and get a fresh start tomorrow and go gather this hay, and you get the hay and we'll do all the work to put the scarecrows together.
Alright, we'll do that.
So, you happen to get the glass put on the house?
Oh, we put it in there first try, man.
Oh my god, that's amazing. You guys seem to make a really good team. Jacklar kind of nods. Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, Jacklar is my best friend.
He begins blushing as he looks over at you, and he kind of twirls his banana hat. Or he doesn't have a hat. He twirls his banana shoulder. Well, I haven't had someone call me a best friend since I was maybe a teenager. Wow. Uther nods. Well, what a lovely moment this is. Wow. But nice job. We'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with this potato house. I'm thinking maybe we could have like another recreational area or something. This calls for celebration. Would you guys like to go drinking with me for the night?
What you drink?
Oh, we have all kinds of things. Our local let's call him our communal event guy. His name is Arnie, and he keeps us well supplied in the lettuce hall.
Well, let's go have drinks then.
He stands up and brushes his hands off. All right, boys. I do like a little bit of drinking games, so I hope one of you would be interested in some games with me. And he begins going out the front door, expecting you to follow.
Alright, well, I guess we follow Uthor to go get drunk.
Alright. So, y'all make y'all's way at the giant lettuce hall, and as you open the door, a nice aroma of food comes wafting out. You can see two people inside this building. Nobody else seems to be in there, but you can tell maybe it's just an off night. Usually this place probably gets a lot of stuff going on in here. There's all kinds of food smells wafting. There's tables lining the walls, and at the back end of it, there's a bar keep, and one man is standing behind that. So the guy standing behind the bar, he's got this short, slicked back, light green hair, and he's wearing a very odd outfit. He's got these weird, like, rain boots almost, but with a fur top on them, and he almost appears to be wearing what one would know as swim trunks, and he's got a black and red vest on him, and each time he walks in the door, he looks up. Uther and friends. Oh, it's gonna be a good night. We've got lots of drink. We've got lots of food. Whatever you need, we got it here in the lettuce hall.
One of them turkey legs would be nice.
He looks at one of the turkey legs in his hand. We got him. And Uther quickly begins walking up to the bar and sits down. Jekyll turns to you, looks around, and then he begins walking. And as you guys are making your way to the bar, the only other person in the room, which is this woman, she comes approaching you. So this woman begins approaching you. She's wearing these brown-rimmed glasses, and she's walking with a black cane. She's wearing a purple vest with a little bit of a black to it, and she starts walking up behind you. Well, what can I get you, boys? She's probably in her, like, early 40s from the looks of it.
Well, we could use some beers and one of them turkey legs for myself.
She nods and she kind of makes note of something, like writing it down on a little piece of pad in her hand. All right, boys, we'll have that right out for you guys. And it's going to be on the house. You got Uther with you, and he's told us of all y'all's good deeds. So you guys just enjoy yourself tonight. And she begins walking towards the back and goes through a door leading to, like, what you would assume is a kitchen area. Arnie walks up and he slides a beer to each of you in these big, like metal mugs or tankards, I think is what they would be called. Jekyll looks in it. He takes a sniff and he takes a sip. Whoa, that's strong. That's strong. His face is like kind of squishing up a little bit. Uther downs his whole cup in like 2 seconds, and then he slams it on the counter. Ha ha! I'll have another, Arnie. And Arnie just kind of slides one across the thing to him.
Well, I'm gonna attempt to drink my drink.
All right, you chug-a-lug-lug, knock it back. And Arnie just keeps sliding y'all new ones every time. And this lady, she comes out with 2 big plates, and each of them have a bunch of chicken legs on them. And she sits it on the edge of the counter. All right, you boys, dig in. I made these up fresh not too long ago.
Ooh, well, I guess I'll try and eat the food too.
All right. And you and Jekyll and Uther all are sitting there eating, and then Uther quickly chugs another 2, 3, 4 drinks before you know it. And he takes a big bite out of his food, and he turns over to you and then turns to the Jekyll, and he looks back at you, and he lets out like a gargle as he begins talking with the food in his mouth. Well, I say we ought to play a little game. Arnie quickly puts his hand on the counter. Uther, I really don't like you guys playing this game in the lettuce hall. Uther shakes his head. Don't listen to him. I say we play a game if you're up for a little bit of risk.
Let's play a game.
All right. He turns to Arnie. 6 beers. You know what to do. He looks at you. So this game is something we like to call Piss a Cup. Okay? And your goal is going to be picking a cup and hoping it tastes good.
Oh, what?
Yes. The way this is going to work, there's going to be 6 drinks, and we're going to take turns drinking these. And you have to drink the whole drink. And whoever gets the nasty drink loses. And tell you what, I'll even make this fun. If you beat me in this game, You can live in the potato house. You and Jeklar, that's yours. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I was just trying to sound like a good town leader when I said a recreational center. He quickly drinks one of his regular beers. So are you up for this game? Oh, let me clarify just so there's no miscommunication. It's called Piss a Cup for a reason.
Oh God, one of these cups got piss in it.
And you're not allowed to sniff these. When you grab that cup, you just have to start drinking.
This sounds like a game I might not want to play with her.
Come on, man. You get a house if you win. I mean, it's a game of chance. I could just as easily lose.
Alright, I'll play.
Alright. So, Arnie sits these 6 drinks in front of you and pushes all the other aside. Jeklar is kind of peering over at y'all while he's nibbling at a chicken wing like a child, and he's just eyeing y'all down. Uther spins the little plate that they're on, and he says, okay, first off, let's see who goes first. And for this, we're going to roll a 20, and whoever gets higher gets to go first. What'd you get?
A 4.
A 4?
Yeah, a 4.
Okay. Alright. Uther rolled a 13, so he looks at you. I've got a lot more experience in this game, so I think I'm going to go first. So, well, he can't tell you how it works exactly. He basically explained it. But so for me and you, here's the way this is worked. The person who goes first rolls a 6-sided die, okay? And they have to get anything above a 1, and they're good. And the next person that gets it has to get anything above a 2, and it goes all the way until the only thing you can roll is a 6 without losing. Basically. Does that make sense? I tested this in real life. I sat down, took 6 different things, and I made sure this played the way I thought it did.
Alright,
so he's going to go first, and he rolled a 6. He grabs one real quickly, he throws his head back and pours it down his throat, and he takes a long... that one's good. Your turn, little man.
Alright.
It's ironic that he calls you little man because you're like 2 feet taller than him.
I rolled a 5.
Alright, throw that drink back then. It's clean.
That was good.
He pounds on the table. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, my turn. And so now he has to roll 3 or higher, or anything higher than a 3. He rolled a 4. He throws this one back, closes his eyes, and pours it down his throat. Slams it on the ground beside him. That's another one. Your turn. So now you have to roll anything higher than a 4. Let me make sure that's right. That's 1, 2, 3 drinks so far, right? Yeah.
So I gotta roll 4 or higher.
Yeah.
I rolled a fucking 1.
Alright. As soon as you... Actually, I'm gonna let your character react the way you feel he would react. You know this cup is the piss, but your character doesn't. So drink it and tell me what happens.
Alright. And I spit it all in Uther's face. And then I start throwing up.
He slings the spit off or piss beer off his face and shakes his hand, and he lets out a loud roar of a chuckle. Arnie, come clean this up. He got the piss. And he looks at you. He says, listen, man, this was pretty fun for me. You can have the house anyway.
I throw up again, but on his boots.
He looks down. Listen, there's been a many men to have thrown up on my feet. Don't worry about it. Arnie comes running over with a bucket of water and a little mop and quickly begins mopping up at the floor. Would you like another beer, Oromis?
Nah, fuck you, Uther. I'm done drinking. Give me a glass of water.
Alright, the woman quickly waddles her way over and she heads you a glass of water. Jeklar, you kind of look over at him and you can see he is no longer interested in eating his chicken. He's pushed that plate all the way on the other side of the counter. He takes a little sip out of his mug and he says, well, I'm feeling a little buzzed, per se. How are you, Oromis? I'm sorry you drank what appears to have been piss.
Go home.
You said you'd like to go home.
Yeah, let's go back to our new house that we got.
Alright. You have a good night, Uthor. And nice to meet you, other peoples.
Fuck you, Thor.
He lets out another chuckle and then he waves you off. Jeklar walks over to the door and proceeds his way out, and you follow behind and y'all make y'all's way to the potato house. Jeklar stands and he looks up into the window. We can't get naked up there, unless we're willing to kill somebody, apparently. Just a heads up.
I'm gonna just go to sleep.
Alright, so y'all make y'all's way in there, and Jeklar sleeps in this, like, recliner, basically, on the bottom floor, and you make your way up to the bed, and you sleep on the top floor. And you're drunk, so this nightmare comes to you a little differently and more blurry, but you can see, like, it's the same thing that you see every night. The woman, her eyes are white, her skin's cracking, but tonight you see blood, a black blood, oozing out of all the cracks and just pouring down her body. You can see her back kind of arching in this weird, like, deformed way that most people's wouldn't. And then boom, you wake up, slightly hungover.
Well, I think about the piss that I drank the previous night and I throw up again.
Jeklar hears the sound. Oromis, are you alright up there? He begins making his way up the steps. Oromis!
Man, shut up, Jeklar. I have a blistering headache.
Oh, I see. He stops at the top of the stairways. Perhaps a no, perhaps a banana.
A banana and a glass of water.
He starts looking around. I haven't found the sink yet. I'll be back. And he runs downstairs. And you suddenly hear a loud knock. Boom, boom, boom. And you hear it creak open. I have the directions for the stable whenever you guys are ready. Okay, well, let me get Oromis a glass of water and a banana, and we'll be on our way to your house. How about that? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Jeklar arrives back at the top of the stairs with his newly found sound effects. All right. He reaches over and hands you a cup of water.
Well, I don't feel well, but I guess we need to go check these stables.
Are you sure you're up for it?
Well, it wouldn't be Dungeons and Dragons if I was.
I have no idea what that means, but let's get on our way. And Jeklar goes downstairs and gets ready to go whenever you are.
Alright, well, I guess I get down these stairs, trudging along, trying not to fall down them.
Alright.
And we proceed through the door and leave, I guess.
Alright. And Jeklar attempts to make some small talk with you on your way to Uther's house before you get there. You know, we've been doing quite a lot of favors for everybody. And, while it does pay off in its own ways, I feel like at some point we shall be entitled to some more leisure time if you ever feel so inclined. I'm really just rolling with whatever you would like to do, but, if one of these days you perhaps don't want to do these things they want us to be responsible for, I will more than likely side with you depending on what it is. But so if you ever feel like you just need a day to yourself, you let me know.
Oh, we'll do. When we're back from this produce village, we're going to take us about a week off.
Alright, I like the sound of that. Where are we going to go? Are we going back to the castle area?
Oh, I don't want to go there. They'll give us more shit to do.
I know they were the ones that sent us here to find out. We'll ponder on that later. Let's worry about the now for now.
Alright.
You make your way to Uther's and he opens up the door and he says, "Morning, boys. You brushed your teeth, right?" And he's looking directly at you.
No, but I did fuck your mother last night.
He kind of chuckles. Oh, I'm sure you did. So, I put together this small little map for you guys. It's not a long journey, but it'll take you right to the stables. It'll probably take you about 50 minutes walking to get there.
Alright, well, let's go to these stables.
Alright. He hands Jekyll the map as you can kind of see him rubbing his rabbit's paw. And on the other side of, like, behind where y'all kind of came from, Quinn comes approaching the plum house. Quinn is the priest. And Uther waves at him, and you and Jekyll kind of start walking off in the direction, and the priest comes in, and they close the door. Alright, so this map says it's pretty straightforward. It's not really too long of a walk or anything of that nature. So we'll make our way there. You needed any bananas or anything? I got 2 beets left in the bag.
But that rabbit's foot on Uther's necklace, man, that thing's weird.
Well, he said it was good luck. I let me make an insight check for him, real quick. I'm almost positive that was Marnie's hand that she cut off.
Yeah, that's what makes it so creepy, man. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I suppose if it really is lucky for him, perhaps he sees it as some sort of victory.
More like he's a weirdo and he could be up to some shit. We'll keep an eye out for Uther.
His eyes widen. Well, I had definitely not given it that kind of thought. Wow. And at this point, you guys have been walking. Y'all just making random small talk for about 30 minutes or so. And out of nowhere, from the woods, quickly comes out 2 giant fire beetles. They just come out from the sides of this little worn path. Roll for initiative, my man.
Damn, they already spotted me.
Oh yeah, they saw us walking up prior.
Yeah. Initiative's the D10, ain't it?
Yeah.
And I rolled a 3.
Alright. So you were going to be last in the initiative order. So these beetles hop out from either side, catching you and Jekyll a little off guard. Not to the point it's going to fuck you over, but you just didn't happen to expect it. And the beetle on the right side immediately lunges for you, almost simultaneously as the other one lunges for Jekyll. This beetle does not. He lands at the spot in front of you, and he looks up at you, and it almost make this hissing sound, like "Ah!" at you as it missed. And the one aiming for Jekyll, he also misses. He jumps right on top of where Jekyll was standing, but Jekyll hopped back. I think I said you go last, right?
Yeah.
Jekyll quickly grabs to his side and yanks his quarterstaff from him and quickly goes to swing it downward at a bringing it down angle towards this creature. And Jekyll hits him with the 15, and I believe Jekyll rolls an 8-sided die. And Jekyll got 7. Immediately as his staff hits this, he basically splits it in 2 as the part where he hits just kind of crushes inward, almost as if these beetles are extremely soft.
Alright, my turn. I'm gonna take my quarterstaff. I'm gonna do my little spinning motion where I twirl around like a tornado, and then I'm gonna bring this motherfucker down.
Alright.
This is a 9.
Alright, a 9 just misses by a little bit. So, as you swing this bad boy, the beetle almost kind of does I want to make him do this, but let me make sure he can do it. Nah, he don't do it. He goes to make like a backflip, but he kind of just does like a roll backwards and looks really stupid in the moment he does it. But as he lands back in the normal place, he quickly goes to lunge at you again. And he misses like hell. He kind of jumps right in between the middle of you and Jekyll. And Jekyll quickly is going to jab forward towards the side of its head with his quarterstaff. And he misses like hell. He hits the ground right under it, and the beetle just kind of turns a little bit and knocks the weapon right out of Jekyll's hand onto the ground. And it is now your turn.
I swear Jekyll got them butterfingers.
Yeah, he should come up with something to do about that.
Alright, well I just rolled a 19. I'm about to hit his ass with my motherfucking staff. I'm about to do that same thing where I turn around, twist my damn quarterstaff, and I'm going to bring it in from the side like it's a baseball bat and whop him in the head.
Alright, what's that damage?
7.
Alright, that does it. Yeah, I'll let you describe how you kill it as you basically stab at the side of its head or whatever.
Well, I'm swinging my quarterstaff in like it's a baseball bat, and I clip him with just the end of my quarterstaff up against his head, and it literally knocks it right off like a scary movie.
Just goes flying into the air, huh?
Yeah, like the parody scary movie. He's like,
Alright, you two have just fucked these little beetles up. These things do not seem like the issue they used to be, do they?
no, they had little bits of health.
Alright, so as you travel down the worn dirt path, the massive foliage seems to become smaller and smaller. The trees eventually return to the average size of what one would expect to see, as it's leaving from this magical enchanted forest to this regular stuff, The path has all kinds of different animal tracks on it, but as you continue, you begin seeing different ones that you weren't seeing before. In the distance, you can kind of see the stables a little bit. You still got a few minutes of walking for sure. Before the stable is even in full vision, you begin smelling an extremely strong smell of something so foul. While the smell is tolerable, it almost feels as if each breath you take as you get closer burns in your nose. And as you draw even closer, you begin seeing that the ground is littered with large piles of feces everywhere. It's literally like looking at a Dalmatian with as many black and brown spots all over the ground.
I'm gonna get me some tea real quick.
Alright, I'm gonna walk out and get something too then. Oh, there once was a D&D player, then he became a dragon slayer. Alright, you back?
Yeah, I once knew a man whose balls are made of fine brass, so in stormy weather they both clang together and sparks flew from his ass.
Shocking. Alright, so you and Jeklar are standing probably about 20 feet away from this building. The ground's covered in basically poop, shit, whatever word best describes it in your opinion. What would you guys like to do? If you turn to look at Jeklar, he is holding his quarterstaff in one hand and holding his nose with the other.
So what are we supposed to do at these stables again?
You're supposed to be gathering some sort of hay.
And all we see is shit all over the ground?
Yeah, well, so the area around the building is a bit bare, as though the horses that were once here had worn the grass away over time. The sun, it shines down brightly on the ground and all the feces along with it. The area is pretty much a big, large open space, which was likely cleared for this building to be put here, and so that the animals had lots of space to walk around.
So we don't see any hay anywhere?
Not yet, nah. I mean, I would say there's small remnants on the ground, but like handfuls of it,
Alright, so I guess we'll walk up into these stables and see if anyone's here.
As you approach the door is really large. You can't see or hear anything on the inside, but you can tell the barn's like unlocked. You could pretty much open it right up if you wanted.
Well, I'm gonna knock on the barn door, see if anyone's there.
Alright, within a few moments, there's no response.
Alright, so I'll just straight up open the door and go on in.
Alright, as you begin to pull it open, it lets out a loud, eerie that almost sends a shudder down your back. Immediately as the door opens, the foul smell smacks you right in the face, so strong you can literally taste it in your mouth. A warm gush of air comes along with the smell, and you can tell immediately the room is much hotter than it is outside. It would seem that the sun has been baking the building and keeping it heated on the inside. Across the dirt on the ground, there's scattered hay and pile of feces everywhere. There's so many that it would be safe to assume that there's more poop visible on this ground than there is ground.
Someone should really clean this up, Jeklar, and I ain't about to do it.
Jeklar's holding his hand over his face. I really don't like this smell. Maybe,
It'd be better if we burn this place down.
As you peer into the stable, you can see different stalls where animals would be kept separate, and you can see in each of these stalls there are hay bales inside of them. In the back, at the very back of the barn or stable, there's a wooden trailer that's got hay scattered around it on the floor of it. when I say trailer, just picture like what a car would have, but not quite so modern. The trailer's looking real old, and it's seen better days without a doubt. And leaning on the right side of it is another pitchfork, but it doesn't quite look as nice as the pitchfork you got from Adder. Jeklar, he wants to go get it. He looks over at you. I was gonna get that, but I really don't want to step in this shit. There is shit everywhere. I have never seen so much shit in my life.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try to clear a path so we don't have to step in all this manure and shit.
Alright. I don't think there's any roll required for that. You just spend a little while making a little path, and when you finally make a path over towards the trailer, Jeklar reluctantly walks over and he picks it up and he says, "Alright, I suppose I'll start gathering hay from this side, and you gather hay from that side, and we'll just load it all into the buggy or the trailer, and we should be good to go, right?"
I guess so. Let's get started.
Alright, so y'all each scooping one little thing at a time, and I'd say it probably takes you about 40 minutes to get each bale from the thing total, and you've got a good little quantity in this trailer now, but you're not quite sure if it's going to be enough or not, but you just have to make do, right?
Right.
Jeklar sticks his pitchfork into the back of the trailer with the bales of hay. So, I had not anticipated. Are we about to have to pull this all the way back?
Shit, how are we supposed to do that?
He rubs his head and he puts his quarterstaff on his back. Well, maybe we just take our time with it, and so we can save our energy. It seems like it's going to take us a long time, but it's, we can only move as fast as we can move.
Alright, I guess we'll slowly pull this. It's not like we have a horse around, even though we're in a stable full of shit.
Roll a 20 for me, a strength check.
13.
13? Alright, you're able to pull it without too much of an issue. It's got wheels, so it's slowly pulling behind. Jeklar, within about 5 seconds of pulling, he slips and he falls right onto the ground, and his left hand goes into a pile of shit immediately. And he stands up with the worst disgusting look on his face, and he looks at the hand, and he looks at you, and he begins vomiting on the ground.
Poor Jeklar.
He takes a couple minutes to gather himself back up, and he attempts to pull again. You have already passed your strength check, so you're good to go. And he passed this one a little better. He must not be as strong as you, even though his character sheet would say otherwise, because he just always struggles when it comes to strength checks. So, the two of you wheel this bad boy outside the barn, and very slowly you carry it forward for about 10 minutes or so until, boom, out of nowhere, 3 horses arrive in front of you, staring dead at you. One's a gray horse, one's a brown horse, and the other one's like a brownish tan one. And these horses are very strongly eyeing down this trailer and all the hay inside of it.
You said there was a white one or a gray one?
A gray one.
Alright. Well, I'm going to take a handful of the hay and I'm going to put it in front of the horse's face.
I'm going to need you to roll an animal handling check for me.
Oh, I have a +2 in that.
Oh, right on.
I rolled a 15. +2 is 17.
Oh, hell yeah. The gray horse leans down and he starts kind of slowly eating it out of your hand. Jeklar, he's watching you and he's like, oh my god. So he quickly grabs the bell, a little handful, and points it at the brown one. Do I have animal handling? Oh, I have a +2 as well. Alright. He rolls for that. And yeah, he gets a 16 with this modifier. So the tannish brown horse begins eating out of his palm. And Jeklar's just like, oh my god. And immediately, as the horses finish the hay in your hand, the tannish brown one seems to make his way over to the side, and he sticks his head into the side of the trailer and he begins biting into some of the hay. And the two horses that were eating out of your hand kind of push past you guys at this point and walk over and start eating out of the trailer as well. Oromis, this is very cute, but I think we need that hay.
Yeah, but we have horses we could get to pull this trailer though.
How do we do that?
Alright, speaking to the DM here. This Mon bracer I have, can that be used to catch a horse?
Give me a history check on it.
11 plus 4, 15.
So based on the information you've heard over time about this, it is very specific to these types of mystical creatures that it would supposedly catch. Therefore, typically a horse or a wolf, nothing of that nature, is in any relation to this bracer.
Okay, alright. Just had to make sure, damn. Alright, well, I have a rope, don't I? In my like little survival kit.
Yeah, you have, to my recollection, you have two 25-foot rope pieces.
I'm about to tie this thing up into a lasso, and I'm about to try and throw it onto the gray one.
Alright. For that, I'm going to say give me a... what do you think? That'd be athletics? Nah, that's strength-based. I think you would be more let's go acrobatics, I think. Tricky situation or something. Yeah, let's go acrobatics.
Alright. So I got a +2 to this one. 12 plus 2.
14? Alright. So I'm going to say the lasso goes right around his head, but they immediately, you kind of tug on it. He immediately is suddenly not cool about this situation at all. And he raises up and he kind of slams his feet down on the side of the trailer, and it practically almost flips. Hay falls all over the ground, and the other two horses kind of jump back in fear from this, and one of them quickly starts to run the opposite way. That's the tannish brown one, and he kind of does like a circle into the field, while the actual brown one immediately just dives into this pile of hay and starts taking huge chomps of it. And the one that you've got the lasso on, he just kind of keeps kicking up and down real aggressively, and he starts looking over at you like directly, making what would seem like this horse is becoming aware of why this lasso is on him, or that maybe not why, but specifically that you are the cause of this being on him.
Alright, well, I'm about to say something to Jeklar. Get the other one, Jeklar. Use your rope. Lasso him. And I'm going to jump onto this gray one. I'm about to try and break this horse.
Give me an acrobatics roll again. And Jeklar, while you're doing this, he's going to try and quickly throw his rope onto the brown one. He's going to need a 14 for it to get on him.
Ooh, 19.
He rolled a 3 and he got a 5 total, so his rope goes nowhere near it. It just lands into the pile of hay. And you said you rolled a 19?
Yeah.
Alright. So as you jump on this bad boy's back, it kind of kicks up into the air a good little bit and tries to shake you off. But after, I'd say, about 40, 50 seconds of it doing this, it kind of just starts to be chill. And once it realizes you're not attempting to hurt it, it's still super uncomfortable about this situation, but it bends down and begins eating more hay. Jeklar quickly pulls his rope back, and he goes to swing it at this other one again. And natural 20. This bitch flies right around its neck, and he pulls it back and immediately tightens around its neck. And he I guess I should roll for a dex check to see if he can hop right on top of it. Oh my god, another natural 20. Bro, just it's almost as he glides on top of this bitch and sits on it. And I'd say within 10 seconds, this horse no longer cares about what's on its back. It's just enjoying its hay as if it's the greatest day ever. You'd be able to tell that these horses are pretty much strays. They may have lived in this barn at one point, but they have been locked out of it for a long time. And they have ate all the hay around the area aside from what was in this building. So this hay is the key to their survival borderline. That's their priority for sure. But you and Jeklar both are now mounted on these horses that are just eating the hay. Jeklar quickly kind of tugs, trying to get it to stop. And I'm going to make him roll an animal handling check. We may have mounted them, but they don't listen yet. Jeklar rolls a 4, so the horse completely ignores Jeklar.
Alright, well, I want mine to try and listen to me. So, mine's kind of just standing there chilling now, right? I mean, is he still trying to eat hay?
I think he did bend over and start eating a couple more bites.
Alright, I'm going to try and get him to stop eating the hay. 18.
Damn, okay. So, is that a dirty 20 or an 18 with the 2?
It's 18 plus 2, so dirty 20.
Alright, your horse immediately stops. He jerks his head back as you tug on him, and then he kind of rubs his foot across the ground like he's almost like how a bull does before it runs, and then it just sits. Well, not sits, I guess, because you're standing on it, but he kind of calms down a lot. And Jeklar's going to quickly tug at this thing again, but as Jeklar starts tugging, the tannish brown horse that had circled away into the field, he comes charging right back, straight towards Jeklar on this horse now. So first, Jeklar is going to roll his animal handling check. He got a 10 on. The horse kind of stops for a second, but then it quickly turns and sees the other horse running at it. And Jeklar is now going to have to roll a dexterity check to see if he can get the horse to move before this other horse tackles it. And yeah, Jeklar got that no problem. He got a 17. So he quickly jerks back on the thing one more time, and the horse stands up and kind of whirls back as this horse comes charging, the tannish brown horse that isn't mounted, and it slams quickly into the side of the trailer and knocks all the hay over out of it, and the trailer's now on its side. And the horse quickly begins taking more like big chomps at it. And just for the record, let's say you guys had 10 bales of hay per se. I'd say you're down to about 9.5 at this point, with all 3 horses sitting there chomping at it quickly, as if it's their only meal they'll ever have.
Alright, well, I've got mine to stop, and now I'm going to use my other rope. I have another 25-foot rope. I'm going to create that into a lasso, and I'm going to try and lasso the other one.
Alright, roll that bad boy. That's a dex check, or acrobatics check, I guess.
11.
Alright, so that's going to make that a 13. The rope kind of lands around its head, but that horse quickly jerks its head, and the rope falls off to the side. And the horse suddenly charges immediately at you, like with very ill intentions. And I'm going to say roll initiative.
Alright. This motherfucker about to get set on fire if he don't leave me alone. I just want me a couple horses to pull this trailer.
I had some other stuff wrote that I was going to explain more about the barn, but it's really irrelevant. It was just nice descriptive stuff.
I think it was fun enough that Jeklar landed his shit. And that is a 4. This D10 loves to land on 4.
Alright, so the horse rolled a 9, so the horse is going first, and Jeklar is going second, and then you third. So this horse immediately charges at you, attempting to knock straight into the side of your horse and send y'all both flying. Let's see. He rolled a 5, and he does not appear to get any bonuses, so that is going to be a miss. Your horse kind of quickly hops backwards like, what the fuck? And the horse goes running, and he quickly turns and starts coming back this way. And Jeklar is going to... Damn, what the fuck do you do when you're fighting a horse on a horse? Jeklar's going to grab his quarterstaff, and as it's running, he's going to try and swing it and smack it in the side of the head. And Jeklar rolled a 14, so that is gonna do it. So as this horse comes charging back at you, he swings from the side and brings it dead into the face. And as it hits, let me roll for damage, I guess, first. 6 damage. As it hits the horse's face, kind of you can see it smush, almost if it was like a slow motion movie scene. Spit flies out his mouth along with some pieces of hay, and The horse kind of topples on its side, but quickly rolls back up, and then immediately begins charging towards Jekyll. And it is now your turn.
All right, I'm taking my rope. I'm gonna try and lasso it again.
All right.
I don't want to have to kill the horse if I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 12.
12, yeah. That's not gonna do it still. So
12 plus 2, right?
Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, you do get a +2. That's right. Well, all right. The rope lands directly around his head, not quite as perfect as it could have been, but it wraps around his head, and he's still charging right at you. And because you can pull it or whatever, but he's coming straight towards you already. So essentially, you're just pulling him closer to you almost. You have him lassoed, I'd say, but I think he's still gonna try and make his attack, basically.
All right. Well, I guess that ends my turn, and that's now his.
Alright, well, the rope around him had him a bit in a funk. He didn't know what the fuck this thing is or nothing. It's real confusing for him. So as he's charging at you, the hesitation makes him try and stop himself in spot, and he kind of just slides into you, but not with the intent that he had from the get-go, and nothing that would hurt you. And then this horse immediately tries to kick backwards in fear. And I guess that makes it Jekyll's turn. And Jekyll, seeing that you don't want to kill this horse from what he took of it, he's gonna try, and he doesn't have any more rope. He's got the whole 50-foot rope attached. I guess he's gonna use his turn to try and cut about 10 feet off of his rope while his horse is just kind of standing there looking confused. And I think it hit stop biting hay. So essentially, while Jekyll's cutting this, it goes back to you.
Also, the one that I'm on, I already have him lassoed and he's chill. He's not going to run away if I jump off of him, will he?
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to say he's chill now.
Alright. I'm about to jump off this horse, and I'm going to try and break the other one.
Alright. Why don't you go ahead and give me, I guess, another acrobatics roll to see if you can hop on that one and work on him.
18 plus 2.
Alright, you jump right on that motherfucker, and he starts kicking off a bit, and I'd say it takes him a bit longer than your horse did for sure, but he eventually calms down, and he starts eating at the hay.
Alright, well, I'm going to tug on him, trying to get him to stop that.
Alright, and now roll that one as an animal handling.
Damn, I rolled 4.
Alright. He does not seem to give a fuck that you're tugging on him. He just keeps eating at the hay, and your gray horse is just looking around, and hey, you can see in his eyes he really wants that fucking hay. Jekyll, seeing that you have that horse under control, he hops off and he takes the rope. I guess he now has 40 feet of rope attached to this horse, and he quickly begins tying it to the end of the trailer. But keep in mind, the trailer's still knocked over and there's hay all over the ground, but he's securing it to it, and he quickly walks over and grabs the rope that you had attached to your horse and ties it to it too.
Oh, he's only used both horses to flip the trailer over.
Yeah. And at this point, I'd say since you've got all the horses calmed down, there's no really need for turns now. We're not in fight now.
Alright, well, so has he pulled the trailer over yet, or is he still in the process of doing that?
Well, he just was tying them to it, more so that they wouldn't take off for any reason. Horses are very easily startled. So he tied them to it, and he quickly walks up and tries to pat them both on the butt to make them run a little bit to flip it. And I'm going to roll another animal handling check. I'm excited about this. We haven't had any reason to roll this check until now. Oh yeah, he gets a 15. They run forward about 10 feet, and it's a little chaotic the way the trailer starts flipping around as they run, but it does end up back on its feet, and Jekyll turns over to you and throws a big thumbs up.
Alright, Jekyll, let's try and hook these guys to the front of the trailer and have them pull it.
He nods. Well, okay, so when I said he hooked them to the end of the trailer, I was thinking more like the tailgate part. Not the tailgate. What the fuck? The actual hitch part. So essentially it would be, he hooked him up in a way that would be like a carriage, you know.
Oh, okay. So I guess we're gonna try and do that and try to get them to pull the. Mine's still kind of eating hay. Fuck. Let's pull on him again. Try to get him to stop.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that one more time, and quickly Jeklar is going to pick up the pitchfork that fell on the ground and start scooping it into it.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so that puts as a 14, and yeah, that's going to do it. He's going to stop eating at it, and he's just staring it down, his eyes poking out real wide. He wants that hay more than you know, but he stops and listens to you, and yeah, Jeklar's just scooping away. He's like, I'm going to get all this back in here. They can't eat anymore.
Alright, well, I guess I'll grab my pitchfork and help him too.
Alright. As you do that, well, give me a perception check. Well, let's see what your passive perception is. Yours is 14, I guess. So, yeah, throw me a perception check.
16.
Oh, nice. +4. That puts you at a dirty 20. Alright. You immediately hear something running at you, and you look up, and there are 2 white horses running straight towards y'all with anger. They definitely are coming for this hay right now. They want it real bad. I'm gonna, unless you're about to try and throw some more rope, I don't think you have any more at the moment that isn't attached, but you're gonna roll for initiative again.
I'm about to have to kill some fucking horses.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or throw some hay to distract them.
Well, on the plus side, your character doesn't exactly know this, but the pitchfork you got is called a farmer's pitchfork, and you get a +2 to your hits when you're fighting farm animals.
Oh, nice. The roll a 2.
Alright, so both of the horses go first. They both rolled a 6. Jeklar rolled a 5, and you rolled a 2. Oh, wait, actually, Jeklar has a +2 to his... No, you have a +2. I have a +1, so that means we all tied a 9 that time, and the horses got a 7. So Jeklar gets to go first. He sees these horses running at us in combat, and he unfortunately does not have... Oh, he does have the 10 feet of rope, but in a panic, he doesn't really think too much about that, and he just immediately javelin throws his pitchfork directly at the horse's ankles that's coming up on the left side, the left white horse. And I'm going to roll a 20 for that. And he fucking misses, of course, like he always does. The pitchfork just kind of lands in their feet.
And immediately, one white horse comes straight towards me, and one comes straight towards you. The first one's going to attack Jeklar. And he misses. He runs into the side of the thing, just barely not like keeping it from knocking over, and he immediately turns towards Jeklar, ready to charge again. And the one charges at you, and it almost like stands up on his back feet and goes to bring its legs down on the side of your horse that you're on right now. Oh yeah, and he hits like a motherfucker. So let me roll that dice. So he's not essentially attacking you, he's attacking your horse right now. So let me make note of that. You were on the second horse, not the first one, right?
Yeah, I'm not on the gray one. I'm on the brown one, I think.
Okay. So let's see. There are 5 horses here right now.
Be nice if I could catch all of them, but ain't nothing sick, more beautiful than a white horse.
Yeah. Maybe I should write down which ones are which. So which one was the one Jeklar hit? The brown one, I think?
The one that did the little movie scene where he hit him with the quarterstaff?
Yeah.
Alright, I know there was a gray one and a brown one. I forgot the color of the third one.
It was a tannish brown.
Alright, well, the tannish brown one's the one that he hit.
Oh, okay. Just trying to make sure I get my ducks in a row. Alright, and that's the one you're on right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so this horse attacks into your horse, which is the tannish brown one, and he deals 8 damage. So, I hate it for you, but as he brings his hoofs directly down into your horse's face, the tannish brown ones, and basically it hits directly into your horse's eye, and it hits so hard you see blood immediately squirt up in its eye, and your horse topples over onto the ground. You're going to need to give me an athletics check. Well, we'll go acrobatics check to see if you fall and get hurt or toppled on top of by your horse, because your horse just died.
17.
17? Oh yeah, you kind of roll off and you're standing up ready to go. But your horse is on the ground kind of letting out like very excruciating pain, like neighs, I guess. I guess that's what sound a horse makes. I don't know. But this white horse has just completely fucked your horse up, and it is now your turn.
I'm pulling out my quarterstaff, and I am going to baseball bat this motherfucker in his face.
Alright, roll that bad boy.
Nat 20.
Alright, so then roll your damage die 2 times and add them together.
6 and 4.
6 and 4, so that's going to be 10. Do you want to describe how it hits his face and everything, or?
Well, he's bringing in like a baseball bat, so I'm trying to hit this horse right upside its head, and when it does, you see both of its eyes like splat out of its head.
Alright, so this horse, I would say its snout bends in a way that a horse's snout shouldn't, and it kind of rolls onto the ground, letting out this loud screech like the other horse, kind of really eerie and sad in a way. This now blinded horse quickly hops back up, and he's going to, well, before that one can do anything, the white horse is going to lunge at Jeklar again. Did Jeklar even yeah, he missed with the pitch. So actually it's Jeklar's turn, excuse me. Jeklar this time is going to take his 10-foot rope, I think, that he was going to use for the tannish brown one before you got it, and he swings that rope over there real quick, trying to lasso this one, but he doesn't have very good reach. And that was an acrobatics check. Oh, hell yeah. Jeklar lands this thing with the 21 right around this white horse's face.
The one that's not hurt yet, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the one that's blinded. We don't want him.
Alright. But that serves as Jeklar's action, aside from him trying to pull it or anything to tighten it. And this white horse is going to attack at Jeklar. Well, it's going to be attacking at the horse, probably. Maybe both of them. But this horse did roll a 15. So quickly, it comes charging up, but just for a tackle this time, rather than dragging a hoof down onto it, in attempt to knock Jeklar off his horse. And it does hit, so I'm going to say that it's going to be a 6-sided die for just a tackle. And it rolled a 4. And Jeklar is on the brown horse. Yeah. Alright, so that puts that horse at 9 health. And then the other horse, the now blinded one who rolls at disadvantage, is going to try and, well, honestly, I think logically it's going to try and run. So I'm just going to give it a dex check to see if it can even escape or run. And it has to roll at disadvantage, so sucks for him. He had a 10 and a 20, but in his current situation, a 10's not going to cut it. So he turns and goes to start trying to run away, and he immediately topples over himself on the ground, and it goes he falls so hard over himself, you hear a loud snapping as one of his legs breaks down the middle, and you can see the bones sticking out one part, and this thing's just screeching terribly. And I believe that puts it at your turn.
Alright, well, the one that Jeklar's just got roped, how far is it away from me? Am I able to jump on top of it?
I'd say you're probably about 6 or 7 feet away. So yeah, you can attempt it with an acrobatics check.
Alright, cool, because we need that horse. 12 plus 2.
14, yep, that's just enough to get you on there. And you get on there, and he's not listening to you quite yet. And as the initiative turn starts over, it is Jeklar's turn. But seeing as you're on this thing now, he's going to toss the rope over to you. I'm going to roll that as I don't know. Let's just roll it as a acrobatics, I guess. But it's a pretty easy difficulty class because you're like right in front of me. I'm gonna say he needs at least a 9. He rolled a 12 plus 2. Boom. So you can catch this rope easily if that's what you're trying to do to help you have stability.
All right. Do I need to roll anything?
No, I'm gonna say Jeklar's roll covered it, but this horse is about to once again attack Jeklar's horse. So if you would like to roll an animal handling check to keep him in check before he does it, you can do that.
I would like to do that. All right, come on. Nat 20, nat 20, nat 20. I rolled a fucking 8.
Oof. Well, with the 10, I'm gonna say you are able to deter him from a moment. His focus switches to you, basically. And that white horse... Oh yeah, I should have rolled for that one horse that broke his leg. I'm going to say that's a D8 because of how severe of an injury that is. And he took 5 damage.
He's dead.
Yeah, he did. So, this horse, you did stop him, but now he's trying to like kick you off his back. And so it is your turn to do what you would like to do. If you want to roll one more animal handling check to try and break him.
I'm going to try to break him.
All right. I'm going to say you need a 15. He's highly agitated, a little more than before. So I think the 14 goes up to a 15.
Just think of him as the White Arabian from the Red Dead Redemption, one of the hardest horses to break.
I don't know my horses like that. What you got?
19.
Hell yeah. This horse immediately calms down and puts himself on the ground. He looks pretty pissed, though. I don't know how angry a horse can look, but he looked mad. But now all the horses that remain alive are pretty calm at the moment. And I'd say through this whole ordeal, you only lost almost a bale's worth of hay.
Awesome. So we're going to tie up these horses and put them up onto the hitch of the trailer. I'm going to grab my rope back from the one that died on me.
Alright, smart move. Alright.
There's nothing really to loot from horses.
Probably not. Jeklar turns to you. Well, this has been a little crazy. I've never once had a reason to fight a horse in my life. Which horse would you like to ride back on?
I'm gonna keep the white horse.
Alright. I believe I'll take the gray one then.
Awesome. I was hoping you would. Because these are going to be the 2 we keep.
Alright, right on. You and Jeklar now leading your horse. Let's say y'all go ahead and load up all this hay that's still on the ground. And you guys begin making your journey back. And on that note, I think we should go ahead and call it.
I now have a horse.
Mm-hmm.
And this horse is going to have a name.
Alright, what you trying to name him?
Is it a boy or a girl?
Dealer's choice. You can choose. I never mentioned any penises, I think, so you're good to go however you want.
Alright, that's a girl horse, and yeah, it's a white one, so alright, we're gonna come up with Rhea. R-H-E-A. Rhea. And Jeklar gets a horse.
Alright, what would Jeklar name his horse? It's a gray horse. I don't know, is midnight too cliche? I guess it ain't even dark. Jeklar decides to let you name his horse. Well, I don't know how to name pets, really. What would you name this one?
What gender is this one? Since I have to name it, you got to give me a gender.
Let's make this one a boy, then.
Atlas.
Atlas? I like that. He shakes his head. Atlas it is.
Alright, we got 2 horses. These are 2 we keep. Fuck yeah. How much experience did I earn for the night?
To be real with you, we only earned experience from the beetles, so you only earned 20 experience throughout the night. One of the horses that died was killed by the other horse, and then the one horse borderline killed himself. The way I've done it is only time I grant us experience is when one of the 2 of us gets the direct kill.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of debates upon how I wanted to do experience, but I figure in the long run, if we're playing this for 3 fucking years, that experience is going to add up a high enough amount. And as we get stronger, I'll probably make the enemy stronger and give double the XP and shit to make up for the difference of what we... Some people do milestone experience and shit like that. I just wanted to do it the official way they originally did it, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's more like balanced.
Yeah.